And now the official vice presidential review of Denis Villeneuve's Dune.
I just love the idea of exploring the unknown. And then there's other things that we just haven't figured out or discovered yet. To think about so much that's out there that we still have to learn. Like, I love that. I love that. And so I'm very excited about the Space Council. We're going to learn so much as we increasingly, I think, are curious and interested in the potential for the discoveries and the work we can do in space. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about. But the other, you guys are going to see. You're going to literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. With your own eyes, I'm telling you, it is going to be.
Wait, are we mining space asteroids with child labor now? Was that part of the negotiations with Joe Manchin?
You're tall, but I'm standing in front of you.
It's a podcast.
Hello, you're small and tall.
All right, in front of you. How does it go? I don't have it in front of me. It's the podcast where two friends examine the cultural detritus of the 20th century. I'm Devin.
I'm Ethan.
And we did it, buddy. We just saw Dune.
2021. We didn't go out this weekend to see the David Lynch version. We did see the new one, yeah.
And we're here. We're in Ethan's non-portable Winnebago right now with our dogs running around. There's going to be atmospheric sound. There might be some puppy sounds. And we have some special guests who were there with us for the film today. We have Knar Gavin.
Hi.
And Catie Denham.
Hello.
My wife. Do you get it? Do you get the reference?
No, what are you talking about? I just thought that's how you referred to Catie. So yeah, our partners have joined us for this pod. They may or may not speak, but they were there with us in the theater.
How dare you?
So we just went in the good low tax rate state of Delaware. Tickets were very cheap. Saw the matinee.
Zero sales tax.
Yeah. After a brief 30 minutes of previews, we got to see cue the French guy's voice,
Denis Villeneuve.
Dune. We're not going to go through this as meticulously as we might. One of the other ones, we don't really need to summarize the plot, given that we just summarized the plot last week. So, Ethan, what did you think?
Denis, Dune, dull question mark, delightful exclamation point.
I love it.
Look for this in Monday's issue of the New Yorker.
Catie, what did you think?
Did I steal your title? I'm sorry.
I just feel like I should have some sort of compensation for coming up with those things that you then steal. But it's okay.
And Knar, what about you?
God, they're just going to town out there.
Here we've got the chorus of dogs.
Going back and forth.
Clocked with a cowbell is all I got. I just fucking slept.
I was in and out like the burgers and then some.
Yeah, no, if you have been behind on your sleep, all I can say is get to the closest theater and get yourself a ticket to Dune. So we were there, this was a matinee that we saw. And
not everyone's gonna know we're fucking losers.
And I feel like we came out of this film and I needed to ask, who is the president now? Is this milk still good? We went 1:30. We were we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna head to the bar, have a couple of beers. then do the pod, and like we came out and we were just like it's dark.
Trump's back.
You know, you can't spell duration without Dune, or maybe you can. There's no E. But yeah, initial thing is just like incredibly long, especially considering it covers half the novel compared to the first film, which is I think like 30 minutes shorter, something like that.
I just remember getting into the beginning of the film feeling very excited because I saw Oscar Daddy Isaac, and then they were sitting at a breakfast table, and then I closed my eyes for a brief blink, woke up, and they were already like on the Dune planet. I missed 30 minutes.
But we do get, I mean, it's the planet Arrakis, right? And we get
My Dune.
You know, and we talked about this on the ride over, but, you know, because like our two guests have not read Dune, they've not seen Dune. And so the question was like, well, why is he called Dune? Is there like a person named Dune? Is there a place named Dune?
The answer is that, like, it was 1963, and Frank Herbert was sitting in his editor's office, and his editor's like, call it Dune and throw in a reference on page 84.
Yeah, and we do get that. We get literally one reference to the planet Dune in this, right? Like, so it's very different. This is like an interesting, I actually think, point of difference with the Lynch film, right? Because, like, the Lynch film opens with all of this upfront exposition about, like, but from a very unsituated point of view, right? It's from like a encyclopedic point of view, so to speak. It's
Whereas
like literally
this film is 2.5 hours of exposition.
Yeah, but it's like and, you know, as we talked about, the Lynch film has lots of it, but the Lynch film literally opens up with like these images of the planets on like a computer screen, and this unattributed, like, vaguely computer voice being like, and here, the planet Arrakis, also known as Dune. And, like, in this, we have to wait, like, however long, and then we, you know, the Baron Harkonnen, like, diegetically is like, my planet, my spice, my Dune.
Why would he say, like, that's what I...
Because he knows that's the name of the movie that he's in.
Yeah.
But where to begin?
We'll let you two take this because we were both asleep.
Yeah.
Well, so I think one of the main things to take away from this film is it's really hard for me not to talk about it in relation to the Lynch film, but in terms of kind of like what its tone was.
Yeah.
Because we talked a lot in the last episode about the Lynch movie and how it actually, we argued it like kind of weirdly captures the novel, partly because of how bad it is, but that's because the novel is not cinematic, right? The novel is like nerdy and encyclopedic, and it has all these like weird details and like, you know, encyclopedia entries that are literally quoted before the chapters and stuff. And that was like kind of like the monkey hanging on its back, right? Has always been, people are like, why has there never been a great adaptation of Dune? And we kind of posited, well, maybe Dune's not a very good book, actually. And this film was clearly like trying to be like, no, Dune, like this was like what you as like a like little like 13-year-old playing with your action figures like think you're imagining in your head, just like the big set pieces, the epic scale, right? But like the tone of this film was like, it was such a downer, like, especially because it's only the first half of the book, so we don't get any of there's like kind of like the uprising that's going to happen after this. If you
spoiler alert for 2026's Dune 2, God Dunin.
Yeah. But like this is just the fall of the House of Atreides, the movie. Yeah. Like it's basically like that's the arc we're getting. So, and the thing about it, and this is accurate to the book, is like the Atreides go to the planet knowing they're being set up. Like it's not like a surprise. But that gives it this very kind of Shakespearean, like Macbethy tone, I feel like, but that makes it just like when you're sitting watching it in theater for 2.5 hours, it's like such a downer.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like you start Star Wars with Empire Strikes Back, where it's like you're starting with the second act where kind of everything falls apart for the hero. Yeah. That's kind of what Dune is.
Yeah, well, and that's sort of the problem, right? Because people have always been like, why can't Dune be the next Star Wars? And that's sort of when I said, like, this is like the fever dreams of a dying empire. That, like, it's really interesting to me. And, like, I'm not saying this is done with any intent, right? But we're watching this movie in 2021 in the midst of the still ongoing pandemic. And it's like, we're reaching a point, we've already been in a point of aesthetic exhaustion for, like, decades, right? But we're really getting there with, like, the MCU's, I think, kind of running out of steam, right? Like, even if you accept what its project is. Like, the new movie is The Eternals, which no one's ever heard of who those people are. I've actually have some because I read some comics in high school, and even I don't care about them. Like, Star Wars has already been through its 3 new movies and its various spin-offs, right? There's, like, not a lot of other places to go, and, like, what's left is Dune. And it's very interesting that Dune, the thing that's left, is just this story of this, what you want to be like this heroic fantasy just kind of like crumbling on the screen, right? Like the family just kind of slowly falling apart. And then like, even as it goes forward, it never really becomes the sort of like Star Wars was very good at like evacuating itself of politics so it could be a fairy tale. And Dune is just like full of these intricate like courtly politics that like I feel like to you guys who hadn't seen the film before must have like not made any sense or like hadn't read the book. Like,
I mean, I did watch Game of Thrones, but no, I think that like something that I feel like for me looking just like kind of being very new to Dune. And only seeing the pop culture surrounding it is that it was very hard. It was very hard for me to buy Timothée Chalamet as the hero. And I know that he's been in The King. I know that he like has had other like really intense like lead roles. But for me, it was like very hard for me because I feel like he didn't make any sort of a metamorphosis. And I know that this is just like the first part of the book, and I'm wondering like, is that going to change, or are we going to see more? But I really felt like his character, besides being told about like the eugenics of him becoming like the one, right? Sorry, spoiler. But like I couldn't believe it. I felt like there was so much of the movie that I could not get myself to buy into, if that makes sense.
Yeah. She turned to me in the last 20 minutes and she's like, he looks like Edward Scissorhands.
He does.
Which with their outfit and his his hair, it looked very Burton-esque. It was, yeah.
Which is very interesting because did you all notice, like I felt in terms of like his costumes and like just his makeup is that he actually became paler. I'm very interested in like the intentionality of it.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting, right? Because the first character that like goes to Dune is Duncan Idaho, right? Played by Jason Momoa. And like when he comes back, he kind of does this advanced mission. And he's a character who's much more minor in the original novel and is given a larger role in this. And he also is given if you get to like Dune later Dune books, he comes back as like a clone or something because like he became, I think just because he was named Duncan Idaho, which is like a hilarious name. Fantastic. He became kind of a fan favorite. But like when he comes back, there's this line, I forget who says it, but about how he's gone native.
Yeah.
Right. And it's this very kind of like, what is it? Like Dances with Wolves kind of thing that's going on.
It was Josh Brolin's character that said that.
Yeah. And who just disappears from the movie halfway through and we never see again. But Timothée Chalamet as Paul, that kind of is his arc, right? But it's weird that like, cause it's like a very racialized thing in the book. And this film is trying to evade the weird racial politics of the novel in a sense by having the Fremen actually played by people of color, which is not something like David Lynch's film does. Mm-hmm. Like everyone is played by white people, but also like the Fremen are clearly racialized in the way like they're at least orientalized in the way they're depicted.
Sure.
But like the fact that like Paul physically becomes paler as the movie goes on and becomes this like basically like emo poster boy. And like he's designed to be like throughout the film, he's designed to be something you see in like a still shot, and like he looks really good, like his hair is really nice and stuff, right? But like then amidst these like otherworldly desert surroundings, whoop, sorry. I don't know what that is, but like, and that's it. Like, it has almost this like Linkin Park music video quality to it, where it's like this like unnaturally white emo boy in this like desert world that just like is somehow hyper competent to the ways of the desert world, right? Like he's better at being a Fremen than the Fremen are. He has these natural dispositions, right? And it's like it's very hard, I think, to do a reading that saves Dune from the fucked up politics of that, no matter how you try to like redo the casting or whatever to address what the original novel's doing.
All I'm saying is that, first of all, thank you, because I did not know that, obviously, because I've never watched Dune or have read the book, but I just can't buy an emaciated Victorian child as like the lead character, Paul.
Yeah, he's like a vampire, right? Like,
yeah.
So, I mean, it took me out of the immersion of the universe, the fact that Kynes, the planetologist, was a black woman, which, of course, you know, why would that make any sense?
Well, as Frank Herbert writes in the original novel, Kynes is to be played by a elderly Swedish man, right? Like,
Kynes Swedishly approached the nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine coming away from this film and like your problem being the casting of Kynes, which I thought she did a great job.
Yeah.
I actually thought there was a lot of good acting throughout this.
Can we just like take some time, like, because okay, so I know that I talked about the casting of Timothy Chalamet, but and God love Jason Momoa. I do love him. Ever since Battlestar Galactica, he was in Battlestar Galactica.
Sure wasn't.
Game of Thrones.
Oh no, Game of Thrones. No, he was actually in. He got his
He was on
Atlantis,
Stargate
Atlantis.
Stargate
Yeah,
Atlantis.
he got his start in Stargate Atlantis. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I thought the actor who played Kynes was like bang up job. Also, Rebecca Ferguson, I feel like she really helped tie a lot of the stories, like a story together, and I really enjoyed her character and her portrayal. I just thought that she did such a phenomenal job of this woman who was kind of tried to like make her own way in like her own world. But I also enjoyed the fact that she, in the very end of the movie, like in the probably the last like 45 minutes, she was just essentially scared shitless about being in the desert, and like had this very raw performance of just not knowing exactly what the fuck was happening. And like for somebody who had such control over situations and who had like plotted to have such control over situations, to be in a spot where she has no control. And I feel like instead of like acting like some sort of a badass or like acting like someone who had all the answers, she portrayed this very real, like motherly character who literally had no fucking clue what she was doing.
I mean, so yeah, I agree with that. I think also though, it's not just that she was in the desert, but she was also in the desert with like this messianic / genocidal figure that she's sort of getting like whips of his visions that are pretty monstrous, and so I think that's also perhaps unsettling to her.
Yeah, but like I think what sorry.
I was just gonna like to kind of follow up with what like with Ethan's about it's like almost as if she's like created this person, right? Like has created Paul, and now like she has no clue what to do with him, you know? Sorry. That had nothing, but
It's best not to create is what I what I found myself.
Well, and it's interesting, right? Because like we've been joking about spoiler alerts throughout this, right? But like in the film, Paul kind of serves this formal function as like a living and walking spoiler, because he keeps having these visions of scenes that are like maybe gonna happen later. Some of them do, some of them don't, right? But it's like he's like this, I don't know, just like this, she deviated from the eugenics plan, right, is the big thing, right? And it's like, it's hard for me I still don't know if Dune, in any of its versions, is like on the side of the eugenics plan or not, because like it's like, because Paul's the hero, right? So in some sense it's like, oh, you deviated and you created the hero, but he's also this hero who's like very unheroic in a lot of ways. Like, he's hyper competent and stuff, but he's also like, what he augurs is always like horrible, and he can't actually control it.
We had our first augur of the episode. There's gonna be
everyone who's been doing the drinking game is already dead.
But I think that's interesting because perhaps that's one of the like just inherent flaws of Dune as the novel when you think of like the adaptations, because you can have adaptations that what I think the Lynch version did, which kind of just overlooked the fact that like, oh, this guy's about to go on a like galaxy-wide jihad and kill everybody, and just kind of was like, yeah, no, he's the good guy. Versus, on the other side, it's like, oh, there's all this death and destruction by you being like being in this role, but also, this is the result of going against the eugenics program. Yeah. So it's like you have these worlds where either it's like, well, are you leading more into the theme of eugenics good, or are you leading more into the theme of like galaxy-wide war good? And I feel like with Dune, you have to lead into one of those two, and it's like that perhaps flaws any adaptation of it.
No, I completely agree, right? Like, I think this is like kind of the specter that haunts all these Dune adaptations, is because any adaptation has to take a side on the eugenics thing, right? At the end of the day, and a number of these things, because like Dune is
they should have like a liberal write the next one, so they could find the compromise with the eugenics side.
I think they should have Joe Manchin write it. And then, I mean, Kirsten
We're gonna
Sinema,
phase out
like,
eugenics over the next 60 years.
But it's like, right, like this, it's this like problem just plaguing any attempt to adapt it.
Cool.
Wait a minute, are you saying the spice was a metaphor, Knar?
We talked in the last episode, I said going into this film, there's two things I'm curious about what they cover. One, do they focus in on like the environmental aspect of Dune? Because thematically that seems like something folks are interested in these days. And to what extent do they focus in on like the eugenics part of Dune? And so it seems like they didn't really like I guess in
Denis Villeneuve
was defense. He includes literally every scene that is in the novel, it feels like, which includes ones of like they were going to terraform this planet and make it more useful, but then because of economics, they just were like, fuck that, we're going to just mine the spice and let the planet be a disaster. Like, they left in those things, but I feel like they also didn't really speak to any of the ecology of like the grander theme of what I think Dune the novel is focusing on.
Yeah, so I actually think I'm interested to hear you say that, because I felt like this film took on the ecology angle a lot more than like the Lynch adaptation.
Oh, it did, yes.
But I think it's like we can't just look to the plot for that. I think it's in the form of it. But though I do think like within its form, it was like maybe taking on. We're gonna have to unpack to figure out what actually were the politics of what it was doing with it. But I want to go back to Kynes, right? Because Kynes is like the character in the novel who gives voice to Herbert's ideas about ecology the most, right? Like kind of like his mouthpiece for that stuff. And one of the things that was like the things that are most interesting to me about this film are where is it differing from the Lynch film? Like, it's mostly giving us a lot, at least for the first half. Like, we're getting the same scenes that are in the Lynch film, almost like exactly the same in terms of plot content.
Yeah.
Like the
Gom Jabbar scene.
The Gom Jabbar scene, the scene with like with the desert survival suits where Paul knows how to fit his naturally the correct way. Like, those are very shot for shot almost, or scene for scene. Oh, the scene with the still suits is very similar. Where this film differs a lot is on the level of cinematography and on the level of the score. So, like, Dune, David Lynch, the score is by the band Toto. So it is this, like, embarrassing, like, 80s rock score, right? This Dune, in addition to it has way more advanced special effects, right? Obviously, just because it's contemporary. But it has this Hans Zimmer score, which Hans Zimmer scores are almost like a parody at this point. You know, the big, like, brah. I think it's using that in a very, like, intentional way where, like, the score is kind of giving voice in the film to the planet, in a sense, to its ecology. And, like, there's that scene where Kynes, so, like, her death scene, which is different from her death scene in the book, if I'm right.
Yeah. Yep.
And so she gives these, like, she has set up a thumper, and then she's going to ride a sandworm, and the Sardaukar show up. And then she's like, I only praise Shai Hulud or whatever, which is the Fremen word for the worms. And she starts pounding the desert with her fist, right? And that, like, kind of forms, like, the click track, essentially, for the Hans Zimmer score that comes in. That is just this immense, overwhelming, like, lower tones that human sounds produce, right, thing as the worm envelops everyone that's on the screen and takes over the entire screen. So, like, I feel like it's like in those ways the film is registering without having it be in the dialogue. Like, this is this system that is beyond human control that humans are trying to control and they can't. But then I'm still on the fence, like, well, what are the liberatory or a good politics? But it is trying to talk about the ecology.
Well, so once again, I slept through like 93 to 5 or 7% of the film. I don't know what's going on. I haven't read the book, but this discussion is making me think of bioquacks, which are sort of these infrasonic kind of sounds that are created when icebergs split in various forms in half or smaller or whatever they do, which is called iceberg calving. But those kinds of events are detectable because of technology that was developed around nuclear tests and things, and kind of wanting to be able to know if those have been carried out. But they're super ultra low, very much below the human sound threshold, and carry very, very far, even though they go slowly. So it's kind of interesting, the worms. I don't have much to say about them. I mean, I have no idea of the connection to Dune, other than I heard the word ecology in my sleep. And chuckled myself awake.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? And, like, I think, like, Herbert was probably plugged into some of that stuff to a degree, but just, like, it's like the worms are, like, the planet's agency given form, right? And, like, I think, like, partly just because technologically this film could represent the worms much more convincingly than Lynch's film, where, like, in Lynch's film they look so silly. They're clearly claymation. I thought the worm swallowing scenes in this film I thought were some of the best stuff in it, where, like, it looks like it's just sand moving, and then it at some point becomes the worm's mouth, and you can't quite tell the point where it goes from being sand to being the worms. Like, that is, like, it's like the planet becomes an agent in that moment of transition you don't actually see. Like, that stuff was pretty cool to me. But then it's like all of these characters are sort of just, like, imprisoned in that situation, right? The film makes them seem so tiny in a way. Like, it films them with this, like, very austere regard, but all they're doing seems so tiny compared to, like, the immensity of the score and the sandworms and the desert.
Yeah, well, kind of related, though. I think one of the trappings of Dune is that it follows this royal family, and so you don't really get, especially in this film that we just watched, you don't really get a sense of like, how deadly the life is on planet Arrakis, or how fucked up the spice trade is, because you're just pretty much following a royal family on the planet. And so if they're trying to make any statement about like ecologically how that impacts people, I think they do it in like cutaway scenes when they cut away to the Fremen and they're like, look how they're operating in this environment. But it's kind of, it hurts itself by focusing on the people who are least affected by the ecological concerns of living on this desert planet where there isn't any water.
Yeah. And like, I didn't really get like, I'm curious, like, especially because you guys don't know the book or anything, like, if anyone, like, because it's like, I didn't get a sense of like how many people are in this at all. Like, it's like, the film seemingly has two scales. It's either really, really small and it's like the family, or it's really, really big and it's like the entire desert. But like, it's like, are there like, because there was a line at some point where it's like they hit every population center at once, and I was like, wait, there's multiple population centers? Because I had just seen, I was like, there's one city and then it's desert. Yeah. So like, I don't know, like, how did that register for other people?
So it really did. I didn't really understand like what you're talking about when the invading people said that they had hit every population center, because the city in itself, like, when you never see people around, like, there's, except for like the governing,
the welcoming scene or whatever.
Yeah, the welcoming scene, but even they aren't like inside the city. They're like on the outside of the city.
Yeah.
So it really feels like that city is not for people. It's like just for the Outlanders. And so, yeah, I really didn't know that there were other centers, but it's like other people, I also don't know where those people are. But it was really interesting thinking about the amount of people, because at one point there was, I think it Duncan or somebody, Duncan had talked about the amount of like Fremen that there are, and like how their population size was like vastly like underestimated, and how there were like 10 million. And so it's like, where are they? They're obviously not in these places. But yeah, it very much felt like the areas of that the predominant culture would see as civilized were not for the native peoples, because you didn't see anyone. Can we just talk about the fact that like Zendaya went to set for 4 days, and she was in the movie for like, I think less than 4 minutes, and they're using her in all the promotional material. Like, she has been on like numerous like interviews and websites with Timothée Chalamet. She's been used in a lot of their promotional material. Like, she's also like, I think 3rd or 4th build. She is getting bank for like very minimal work, and I am here for it. Girl boss.
I'm impressed they were able to film all 23 of the visions of her in 4 days, because you'd think all the angles they had to get of him repeatedly having visions of her over the course of the film.
But also some of them were repeated as well.
Oh, that probably cut down on the timing then. But they kept doing his visions to the point where I'm like, okay, God, he's having another Chani vision. I get it. You're going to meet her and fall in love. I get it.
Yeah. But this is like, we should talk about this, because this is really what this film was about, right? Like, if we were going to talk about the arc of this film, divorced from like any knowledge we have of Dune, like the book, right? Because like we presumably don't know where it's going. This is a book about like finding your girlfriend that you keep having dreams about, right? Like, that was like the arc of this movie. And like, it's so appropriate. The casting is Zendaya, who plays like Spider-Man's girlfriend as well, right?
Which
so it's like,
okay, so in the first Spider-Man movie, she was only there for 5 minutes. Like, she was only in the film for 5 minutes.
Really? I remember
yes.
a lot of it.
I guess because she wasn't the primary love
I
interest.
guess it was a lot of one line.
In the first one, yeah, she was like, she wasn't on set for very long. they couldn't contract her for very long, and then it was only until like Spider-Man Comes Home or Spider-Man Homecoming, I don't know, the second one, where she was in it for a large frame of time. But very interesting. Sorry.
Yeah. But like that's the thing is like she's barely in this, but she's like the object of desire that is like held out in front of like, you know, the preternaturally white Timothée Chalamet. There's like this like racialized, othered, capital other woman figure that is just like playing before his eyes over and over again. And he's like I gotta meet her, right? Like
I died when you say like the preternatural white man. Because it's like that's Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, no, and it's like they're like the perfect casting in that way because it's like the white boy of the cinema, and then just like the superhero girlfriend. Like it's like he watched Spider-Man, and then this movie is about his like post-COVID vaccine fever dreams of Spider-Man's girlfriend and how he's gonna go out there and meet her because he has special desert skills.
You know, some would say that he's their favorite white boy. I would not say that, but like that's a thing.
Well, I feel if this wasn't based on a novel made in the 60s, you would assume that it was like written by some dude who's like recollecting this chick he met at Burning Man in 2014, and like the build up to that story of his meeting this person for a brief magical moment in time, and then you know.
I think I'll be very curious to see in the next film. I'll be very curious to see, because obviously I again, friends, I have never seen Dune or like have read the book anyway, but I'll be very interested to see like where her character, like where she takes her character, because I've only seen Zendaya in the MCU and also Euphoria, and I feel like those are very different things to feel like, you know, to kind of figure out where she lands. And
have you watched Euphoria?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know. I figured like there's whatever the opposite of parental lock is. Like I feel like I can't access it. You're like, no, dude, you're in your 30s. Like this isn't for you. So I never watched it.
I'm a younger millennial.
I see.
I'm younger than you.
I'd actually be very curious. But before we conclude things, neither of y'all have seen Dune or read Dune. What is
Wait,
your?
Hold on. Knar, I've never seen it. Have you ever seen it?
I'm glad we cleared that up.
So, given that, what is your prediction about what's going to happen in Dune Part 2?
I feel like Joe Manchin is involved.
Do they reach a compromise?
He's
The
gonna
Empire
swivel on the Pro Act.
So what if? So we did not see the Padishah Emperor in this film. What if he shows up in film 2 and he's played by Joe Manchin? Would that get you into the theater for Dune 2?
Sorry. Question: does the Emperor show up? Like, would the Emperor show up in the next?
Oh, you see, you're giving away predictions with these comments you're making.
I would just wonder, like, who would you choose? To
I
play the
apologize.
Emperor?
Can I just say, like, my dream role is, like, it's got to be a black dude, because I just want to see these people who are so upset. They're like, no, the Padishah Emperor is Anglo-Saxon. You can't do that. I really, like, Idris Elba. Like, let's just
I was
do
gonna
that.
say Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Can I say mine?
Sure.
If you say David Lynch, so help me God. Okay.
Donald J. Trump, baby. Just like,
Yeah, that would.
like
My daughter.
we've got this great deal. The Harkonnens, they're taking over. We don't do anything. They're paying us. It's a great deal. I brokered the deal. No, but David Lynch would rule. Like that would be.
Wouldn't that be a
like,
great?
if he was?
Yeah.
He's the emperor of the Dune universe. Like that would be fun.
I really wish there was a post-credit scene with Sting, just literally playing.
Saying I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah,
But we
I'm
never
going
let
to
Catie
kill
answer
you.
the question. You asked Catie a question and then we moved away from it.
My predictions for the next film. I mean, I have like a serious prediction and I have like a not serious prediction. My not serious prediction is like maybe penises, because we did not get to see the angle
We
of the
were
dangle.
deprived.
We did not talk about this.
We were so
But-
deprived.
There is a shot of a naked Oscar Isaac, unconscious and sprawled in a chair. Wait,
We were robbed.
I mean, I guess like in part 2, my prediction is that there's going to be a plot with some action that like things will actually happen.
my prediction is that we all have a great time.
Again, Padishah Emperor either needs to be like I would like to see the Emperor be David Lynch.
That will but see, that would break this movie's spell, right? Because like we talked about, the Lynch movie is like pointing out how it's a movie to you all the time. It's pointing out that it's an image. This movie wants you to forget you're watching a movie. It's like fall asleep, as two of us did, and just let the Dune wash over you.
There's
right?
the one part they're building up the whole like the dance you have to do on the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is a Marvel film, a Disney film. This would be like the comedy break where they'd be like, ha, we're dancing on it. Like, that would be a thing. But then, no, they just like sort of started doing it, but trying to make it serious, even though it's hilarious. This like little dance you do on the sand.
Well, this is the whole problem, too, with like the whole problem with like the Marvel Disney is they also have like got this monopoly on being funny in movies. So now every other studio has to be like, well, our properties are really serious and dark.
There were some points where I did laugh and I thought this would be a great place for a joke. And this is not this movie. This is not that type of movie.
Yeah.
It is.
Except to shift to like some of our favorite lines from the movie, just to end things up. I just got to start with like, there's some scene with what's the actress that plays his mom?
Rebecca Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson is great in this movie, but there's some, like, after a series of calamities and getting through the desert and stuff, there's, like, a helicopter crash and whatnot.
They escape one of the worms, one of the shy halloos.
And Rebecca Ferguson is just like, that was insane. Like,
shit,
the
bro,
rest of the film
bonkers.
has been basically in Shakespearean English up to this point. It's just like, my emperor, doth I give thee the report from Dune? It's like, shall I hear the report from Dune? I think not. You and I have surveyed the battlefields many a year in our day. And then just like fucking, after surviving this like series of bloody calamities, just like, that was insane, my son Paul, future Messiah.
I think I leaned over to her after she said that. I went like, yo, that was whack. Just like running alternatives by you of what she could have said.
The dogs are fighting. What was
They
yours,
are.
Ethan?
So mine, besides that one, was Duncan, Idaho, who like just keeps not dying at multiple scenes in this film. Is like, just get it over with, just kill this man. He eventually survives even longer and intercepts Paul and Lady Jessica, and he walks up to them, and he's not a great actor, but he he goes up to them.
Shots fired. I thought he did a fine job.
I mean, maybe it's hard to say, like, did he do a good job, or is like the character just kind of like weird?
I feel like Jason Momoa plays a great Jason Momoa playing someone else.
Yeah.
Like that's
Like
how he plays.
every interaction with Paul he has in this movie is like the interaction I would have with like the chicken McNuggets I just ordered. Like, Paul, here you are. I'm gonna eat you. You, I'm gonna dip in the mayonnaise. You, I'm gonna just take straight.
I love our guest. Yeah, our guest.
We're actually filming Dune 2 right now. We've got Zurich is playing Paul Atreides and introducing Cash, as whoever Sting plays.
Fade Ralph.
Who can't remember Fade Ralph?
Anyhow.
Everyone's favorite character.
So anyways, Jason Momoa walks up to the two characters. He goes, "Milady, Paul." That was great. That was the great juxtaposition, and that was it for me.
Yeah.
Mine is not a line so much as like an expression that happened. I forget when this happened, but I think it was like in the later part. But somebody tells Paul something, and he like the camera angle is like you first see a face of like Timothée Chalamet, and then in the most like 2000 like early 2000s emo way, he like dips his head and he goes, "I know." It's just with his Edward Scissorhands, his like very like dark fop. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would see you at Lollapalooza 2008. I would love you.
He had a lot of scenes like that where it's like, I'm going to dip my head and like be, melancholy.
He really should have been born for the early 2000 emo.
Yeah.
He missed it. He missed his chance. Now he's a zillennial. Is that what they're called now? Gen Zer? Gen Xer.
He's not a Gen X.
I don't even know.
Introducing Boomer,
John Cusack.
Boomer Timothée Chalamet, which is John Cusack. Yes, correct.
Like halfway through the film, Paul turns to the camera. Here are my all-time top 5 imperial encroachments on the ducal line of succession. Number 5, Baron Zudo Hockenham, 19,857.
Do you have any favorite line?
Just a favorite moment or anything?
None. There's no favorites.
You didn't have one.
I'm being encouraged to identify that rather than have a favorite line, I don't have one. So I'll go with options A through D. I don't have a favorite line at this time. Thank you for calling in.
All right, so we saw Dune. I had things I wanted to talk about. It doesn't matter. We're all very tired. It's over. How many Shia LaBeoufs are we giving it?
Oh my god. So do we... The thing is, like, as a standalone film, I feel like it's not great. Like, it doesn't... If it exists removed from Dune, the, like, wider property, it's kind of bad. It's, like... It's 2.5 hours of exposition. There's some very beautifully filmed, like, shots. Good cinematography. But there's not much of a plot. So I'd probably, if I was examining it as its own thing, maybe give it like a 1 out of 5 Shias. But within the context of Dune, the property, at least now we have literally every scene from Dune the novel. Like, we have a cinematic counterpart that we can speak to, and so that's a valuable attribute to our culture that Denis Villeneuve, cue the Frenchman.
Denis Villeneuve.
Congratulations on your Kennedy Medal of Freedom, Mr. Smith. Do either of you guys want to rate it? We rate in Shia LaBeoufs, and you can interpret that however you want. There's no set scale.
Yeah. Have you ever like been 17 and you're like, I don't know what I want to do with my future, and someone's like, hey, why don't you major in political science? And then like you do that, and like you're sort of just stuck with it for the rest of your life. So we decided early on we're gonna do Shia LaBeouf's, and now like that. The disastrous, the calamity that resulted from us deciding to have that as our metric cannot be avoided now. Like, we're stuck here. This is our, it's very Sisyphusian. Okay.
All right. Knar, how about you?
Getting a vigorous shake of the head.
the first 30 minutes, I would have to give mid 2015 Shia LaBeouf, which is when he was not doing anything. So, but like last hour, 45 minutes, I would give
That's
maybe
like the last 1/8 of the movie.
No, I think that like the last the last hour, I would probably give like an even Stevens Shia LaBeouf. Like, I really did actually enjoy the last part of it because I feel like things started because it wasn't exposition anymore. Things were happening, but yeah, I did like the last part of it. I think overall, I would have to give it Disturbia Shia LaBeouf. So. Yeah, like, solid.
This is the best interpretation of the Shia LaBeouf scale we've ever had.
Yeah, it really is.
I just think it was solid. If you don't want to spend that long in a theater or like on your like just watching something, don't do it. But like if you're into it, go for it.
Knar?
So, I can't say I've come prepared with the proper Shia LaBeouf conversion mechanisms available to me. So, I'll say, so I don't think this is true, but I have this vague memory, maybe it's true, I don't know, that there was like a art show that was like comprised of going and getting to like see Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, in a box or something.
In a box, I think. Yeah, I think you could like, it was something about if you could like fan the genital smell through the window or something. Or, like, that's how you know you're close enough. So I'll give it that amount of Shia LaBeouf situation.
Man, we really need to consult them about our answers.
Really do.
Jeez. Man. So, as you know, I'm in the pocket of big IGN and big Game Radar and big Game Examiner.
And you're trying, you're circling, you're almost there.
And they've told me, that I need to get in line and give this 10 out of 10 Shia LaBeoufs as they did. And I was prepared to do that.
Essential.
Yeah.
Essential.
Cons. Blank space. But, I've been paid handsomely to do so, and I'm prepared to give it 10 Shia LaBeoufs, except I'm deducting 1 Shia LaBeouf per minute of previews I had to watch, so I'm ending up on negative 20 Shia LaBeoufs for me. Stay at home, don't get COVID.
Yeah.
Don't get COVID for this.
Yeah. Well, shit.
You have to say something, because then I have to come in with the final.
Okay.
We've got a formal request for any number of sentences or strings of words. I believe those are to live between the time at which Devin previously concluded speaking and the time that he resumes. So, that's your sentence, folks. All right.
Thank you for listening to Your Tall, but I'm standing in front of you. What do we talk about?
Remember. You need to have the weirding ways.
Email us at yourtallpod@gmail.com. Twitter at yourtallpod. Send us messages. It's a podcast. Find it where you do that. But you gotta give us a 5-star review. Someone's gotta do it. It could be you. Why not? Thank you.
And if you have just like the amount of time you spent just listening to this podcast, but also another 3 hours, go see Dune in theaters. Because, Dune. What else are you gonna do this afternoon and evening? That's the tagline.
Okay, so it's Dune. It's D. Do not go out. You. Under any conditions but you unless you need to get out of the house and entertain yourself with Dune.
Oh, well, can't wait for the next one. All right.
Do not entertain.
No, that's it. Stop trying to redeem it.
They say we're young and we don't know. We won't find out until we grow.
Well, I don't know if all that's true, 'cause you got me and baby I got Dune.
Dune. I got Dune, babe. I got Dune, babe. They say our pod won't pay the rent. Before it's earned, our money's all been spent.
I guess that's so we don't have a pot. At least I'm sure of all the things we got. Like
Dune. I got Dune, babe. I got Dune, babe.
I got flowers in the spring.
I got Dune to wear my ring.
And when I'm sad, Dune is a clown.
And if I get scared, Dune's always around.
So let them say Dune's plot's too long, 'cause I don't care. With Dune I can't go wrong.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain Dune can't climb. It's Dune. I got Dune, babe. I got Dune, babe. I got Dune, babe. I got Dune to hold my hand.
I've got Dune to understand.
I've got Dune to walk with me.
I've got Dune to talk with me.
I've got Dune to kiss goodnight.
And I got Dune to hold me tight.
I've got Dune I won't let go.
I've got Dune to love me so. We need another adaptation of Dune.
I've got Dune, babe. I've got Dune, babe. I got Dune.